All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kava review of the new WoW Kava from Nakamal at home. I received this bag of the new WoW roots a few weeks ago. At the time, they were out of the bags with the labels. This one has the stone label. It says WoW roots. This is now available, and it's fresh WoW Kava, one of the kind of all-time strong kavas, all-time strongest kavas that most of us have grown to know over the years. So I've already squeezed up a bowl here. It's got the same color as the wild kavas that we've had over the years. Nothing new in terms of color, texture, look of the powder. But I have already tried this, and it's fantastic stuff. It's much different than the previous WoWs in terms of the feeling that it gives you. I've had some WoW kavas before that really knocked me out, really did me in for the night. This stuff is very, very strong, so be aware of that. But it's not as heavy, it's not as dehydrating. It's not something that you're gonna have to look forward to spending a couple days with in your system. Nakamal at home doesn't have any affiliation with True Kava, and to my knowledge, this particular batch of WoW has not been tested noble or 2-day. My initial reaction after having this the first time was that it tasted and felt like a noble. But again, I can't confirm or deny that. It's a great kava. It's a wonderful thing to have a fresh bag of WoW kava at any time. Just a little note here. Kava Sewer is a little bummed out. When I was driving up here to Lancaster, which is northeast of Los Angeles, and somewhere along the way, things bounced around in the back of my IKEA Soul, and my kava shell broke. This is just a devastating day in the life of Kava Sewer to lose a shell, to physics. But I'm just gonna use this giant metal shell instead of the little half coconut, and it's you gotta do what you gotta do to get your roots, to get those roots down. I will be ordering another one. I would always recommend the shells that come with kava cells. That was one of the shells. The one that broke is one of the shells. This is the little thing that you put your shell on, is a holder. But their quality is amazing. It's just that it really took a hit and cracked. And I thought that I could salvage it. I thought that maybe it was just a superficial crack. But then when I poured water in it when I got here, lo and behold, Kava Sewer suffered a major loss in my arsenal of kava preparation materials and consumption materials. But I suppose better a coconut than some root. So, anyways, I'm gonna finish mixing this up. I'm gonna actually do a break off here, do a read over of my first review of WoW that I did 4 or 5 years ago, just because I think it's pretty funny. So I'm gonna have a little photograph that goes along with the kind of squirting coffee here a little bit. That goes along with the a photograph that goes along with like a voiceover of the review. Anyways, this is the new WoW Kava. It's absolutely fantastic. It has all the positives that it did before. Very strong, very stony, good flavor. But it doesn't have that next day headachy dehydration kind of effect. So it's kind of a perfect kava for a weekend or an evening after a day of considerable stress. This would be a good one to reach for. All right, Kava Sewer, peace out. This is a good four out of 5 shell kava. Somewhere near the top shelf. So enjoy it, get it while you can. WoW comes and goes, but like I said before, it's good to have around because it'll knock you out, and it'll also please your friends if they're looking for something that they can really feel in their body and their mind, and be like, oh man, wow, this kava stuff is kind of cool. Because sometimes they drink it and they're like, dude, whatever. So, yeah, wow is the way to go. Peace, guys. Peace in the kava world. No more fighting. In J. Martin Trust's Getting Stoned with Savages, a trip through the islands of Fiji and Vanuatu, he describes his first experience with kava as something like an opening up to the world, a new liberation into a social universe he had never before known. Meeting an acquaintance at a Nakamal in Vanuatu for the first time, he calls him his brother, and remembering his wife is around, exclaims, "That's my wife. I love my wife." The importance and poignancy of everything close to him in his life is revealed to him at once. Well, at least after 2 shells. He senses serenity, contentment, and an emotion as far from dissatisfaction as one can possibly feel. This is how good kava is supposed to make you feel. Wow doesn't even begin to describe Wow Vanuatu kava. At $30 for 250 grams, one feels like they have cheated Nakamal at home. Really? This was only $30? It is a very fine connoisseur grade kava that can only be described as perfect. It is far easier to prepare than coarser kavas like black sand kava. 1 cup of Wow is good for about 2.5 cups of cold water. But after kneading, I transferred the remaining root into another cold cup of water and got a few more shells of weaker kava out of it. With something as high quality as this, you want to lick the dish when you're done. First, the flavor. Very good. After brewing, note the gorgeous color of this kava. It looks like chai latte or white chocolate milk. This is about as mild as kava can taste. My advice is similar to what Thelonious Monk's would be, straight, no chaser. Put the tropical fruits away, rather. You'll want to navigate through the whole bouquet of flavors Wow has to offer. Although not as tasty as black sand kava, this brew is very satisfying. You will feel numbness in your nose just sniffing the shell. The flavor lacks spiciness and has a creamier, almost taro-like taste. There's even some minor natural sweetness to be found in the aftertaste. It is mild but serene. If you don't like the taste of a typical shell of kava, you will love this. But chances are that this kava is far too powerful for you in terms of the effects if you haven't grown to appreciate the flavor of a good kava. With that in mind, be careful who you brew Wow for. This is absolutely not for newcomers. I wasn't prepared or worthy enough for the powerful effect this kava had on me. As connoisseurs in the Pacific say, this kava speaks to you. Rating the effects and potency of this kava is impossible because it simply sails off the charts. Nakamal at home is quite honest when they tell you to avoid machinery after drinking kava. But after drinking a Wow, don't even get into a car. 3 shells will get you crunked enough to want to find the nearest beanbag and just dream away. About an hour after I drank 3 shells, I got into someone's car to get some dinner and felt very dizzy. I asked to go back home, and once I was on solid ground, I felt fine. This is real Vanuatu high-grade kava. Respect it. That being said, holy shit. This is the real deal. Believe me when I say that this stuff will floor you. If you drink kava on a regular basis, don't even think twice. Buy Wow right now. I wish it had more to offer in the way of flavor, but Nakamal at home aren't lying when they tell you this stuff is rare, potent, and connoisseur grade. What is even more impressive is that Nakamal at home claims that Chief's Jungle Kava is even stronger than this. I'll believe it when I feel it. Flavor, 9 out of 10. Effect, 9 out of 10. Overall rating, 9 shells out of 10. This is the original Nakamal at home Wow Vanuatu Kava review from Wednesday, February 10th, 2010.